If your insurance rates are going up and the last time you saw a decrease was the Reagan administration, folks at Sid, an American Patriot Insurance Agency, they put the freedom of choice back in your hands with their exclusive Rate and Bind online portal. Visit AMPATINS.com or call 888-322-3565 to save an average of 25% on auto, home, renters, business, even pet insurance. Call 888-322-3565 today.
77 WABC.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
No, I get by with a little help from my friends.
I'm speaking. In fact, I'm speaking right before Donald Trump. You don't like it? Stick it up your ass. Fine. You know, I've been talking a lot about these local races. All my friends, Anthony D'Esposito out there in Nassau County, Mike Lawler, Rockland County, Mark Molinaro, Tom Sullivan, Mike Sapercone joined us earlier. One race that I'm keeping a very close eye on is not local, but she's a dear friend of mine, and I hope she wins, and that's Carrie Lake running for Senate out there in Arizona. The numbers I'm getting from my peeps out there, I've got peeps everywhere, is that she's not winning, that Gallego has a lead out there. But we'll see. So good luck to Carrie Lake out in Arizona. Bill O'Reilly's on every Thursday, but being he's the best ever in the history of this business, and I say that, I mean that, he's doing us a favor and coming on twice this week, including on this immensely important Election Day 2024. BillO'Reilly.com, and of course he does that No Spin show here at 9 p.m. every weeknight on WABC. His new book is out. You gotta get it, Confronting the Presidents. It's as good as it gets, and hopefully later on tonight we'll get the next chapter, and you do the next Confronting the Presidents, and we know who's going to win. Although the more people I speak to, Bill, the more that say don't count on it when you go to bed tonight. We're still not going to know who the president is. What are your thoughts?
I think that's likely because there are different mechanisms in different states, and some states are very tardy. I love that word, tardy.
Great word, yes.
Yeah, William, you're tardy, the nuns used to say to me, and I go, you're lucky I'm here at all. And then right down to the principal, you know, the usual merry-go-round. I wish they had no bail laws then when I was at St. Bridget's School. Because I was in custody many days, and I was not bailed out. I was listening earlier. A couple of things I wanted to comment on. Number one, Trump is a different guy than he was 10 years ago. And the reason is all the battering he's taken from the legal system and the media. And any human being, I'm a different person than I was 25 years ago before I got into the cable news analysis business. Actually, it was in 27 years. Oh, my God. Because human beings, you can absorb punishment, and everybody does. Everybody has pain. But when it's as consistent as it's been directed at Trump, that has something that affects your psyche. And the trick is to continue to function, and he's done that in an amazing way. If you really step back, even if you hate him, very few human beings could have functioned through all of this the way he has. And I admire that.
Listen, I agree with all of that, and I love the guy, so you have to sell me on who he is. And when you're alone, and you've been alone with Trump many times, many more than me, what you're talking about right now is really personified. But, the Trump that's out there at his rallies, same guy, he's still maligning his competitor. He's still saying things about his competitor that, quite frankly, you don't want to hear. So he may have changed on a personal level. Yes, of course he has. But he hasn't changed all that much from the rally goer 10 years ago to the guy in Pittsburgh last night.
It's a subtle change, and you missed it. You missed it.
Yes.
And everybody has. So the problem with Donald Trump, and when I say problem, it's not a problem to the MAGA people and the people like you who are going down with the Trump boat if it sinks. I mean, it's not a problem there.
That's true.
You've accepted it.
Right.
But for the first time in history, and I mean this literally, a presidential candidate and a former president wants to be an entertainer as well as a politician. You cannot do that. And he's trying to do it. That means this. He, when he gives a rally, gets up there and he speaks for anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. And he wants his speech to be like a set, like when we did the State of New York show in Huntington, you saw my set at the top. I came out and I did 35 minutes about the culture and how I was raised as opposed to what it is today.
Right.
That's what Trump is doing. And that my set, I think, was humorous. Maybe people were laughing at me, but there was laughter.
No, your set was very funny, and you mentioned the nuns moments ago, and that was probably the best part of your set, talking about the relationship with the nuns. That was hilarious.
Well, you know, I build that in to my news analysis, but I'm not a politician. I might build it in anyway if I were running for office, but Trump wants to do that. He wants to entertain, and I've talked to him about it. And he says to me, look, these people have waited hours to see me, and I'm not going to get out there and be Jeb Bush and bore everybody with policy. I'm going to go out and throw some hand grenades and verbally and get people stirred up like a rock concert, and that's what he does. Nobody has ever done that before. No presidential candidate. And it has two blades. The good blade is the people enjoy the presentation because they like him, and he's attacking people they don't like. The negative blade is that the press and the people who hate him take his comments usually out of context and ram them down his throat. And the people who don't pay attention, and that's about half the electorate in this country, they don't know anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
They just hear the negative. Oh, he wants Liz Cheney executed by a firing squad. You see what I mean?
He didn't even come close to saying that.
Right, but they're not going to go back and check that.
Of course not. You know, I remember having this ongoing disagreement with Bernard, God rest his soul, and he would say to me, you know, Sid, if Ted Cruz won, it would be the same thing. And I said, no, it wouldn't, because Ted Cruz wouldn't keep going back and back. One thing about Trump, yes, the media is going to attack the Republican. There's no doubt about it. But the question becomes, how is the Republican going to react? And I don't think Ted Cruz, anybody in the history of politics or soon to come, would react the same way as President Trump. That's the difference. Agree or disagree?
Well, I agree, because Trump comes out of an entertainment background. So, you know, he's a real estate guy, makes billions of dollars, and then he says, I'm bored with this. How many buildings can I sell? So I'm going on NBC and be the apprentice and fire people, and I'm going to walk down the street. Everybody's going to know my name.
And he goes out there kind of like Vince McMahon would do with WWF and go out there with the mic and start yelling and screaming.
And he's entertaining. But underneath the entertainment is a serious message, and he governed very well. And when we discuss this stuff, Trump and O'Reilly, I keep... And I don't do it anymore because he's forged his own way. Donald Trump has forged his own way. If he loses, it's because he did it his way, as Paul Anka once sang, okay? And he basically says, I got elected on doing this. And it's true. I was there for the first debate when he destroyed Jeb Bush and all of the others on the stage by being sarcastic and funny and saying, well, look, these people are a bunch of phonies. I'm not. Vote for me. And it worked. But it was a different country then.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And now he didn't moderate, all right, so that he would be ahead today. He should be up by 10 because his policies were so much better than Biden's policies. It's not even close. Biden's the second worst president in our history, and Kamala Harris cheerleaded every single mistake that Biden made. It was all fine with her. And if you go back to see what Trump left, He left very low inflation, a secure border, on and on. I sound like an ad for Trump, but it's true.
Yeah, but what you're doing also is you're feeding all my friends, and my friends are all, for the most part, not all, for the most part, huge Trump supporters, and they go, listen to what O'Reilly just said. Trump did a great job. Trump should be up by 10 points. So the only way, Bill O'Reilly, the only way that Trump loses today is if there's fraud, if the Democrats cheat again. If you don't think all these Trump supporters are saying that, you're nuts. They are absolutely saying that. The only way Trump could lose is if the Democrats cheat.
Well, I'm not even going to comment on that because it's not worth commenting on. If the Democrats cheat and there's evidence of it, the Supreme Court will get involved in the election, just as it did with Bush v. Gore and the hanging chads and all that.
Well, my point to you is isn't it feasible without going right away to fraud and they're cheating and blah, blah, blah? Because I'm getting tired of that, too. I got to be honest. Every time we lose, somebody cheated. Isn't it possible that the guy I love, you know how much I love Trump, loses today because as much as I love him, that's how many people despise him?
Well, that's why he lost in 20. That's why.
No, they cheated, he said. No.
What?
They said he
they
said
cheated. Okay. Look, I'm a historian, okay? I mean, a lot of people live in the conspiracy world, and they believe what they want to believe, and that's fine. But not me. And my job is to present the facts. If we don't know the facts, I'm going to tell you we don't know the facts. But at this juncture, my prediction is that Trump will win. And I made that prediction last week. And it's not based on emotion and it's not based on I believe what I want to believe. It's based on a polling outfit called Atlas, A-T-L-A-S. They're out of Brazil. They were the most accurate last time, 4 years ago. They don't have a paymaster in the United States. They have no ideology. I had their CEO on. We vetted them as thoroughly as anybody could be vetted. They're the ones that I'm relying on. And I then added to that the registration for Republicans in the swing states, which is way up. And I did the math on the two and came out that Trump should be the winner. That is my prediction, and I'm sticking to it.
Comfortable win or, in other words, too big to rate, comfortable win or close?
Atlas has it very close. Though the reason it's so close is that American women, Trump has not won them over. He's got the men, including African-American men, much more than he had 4 years ago. But the women he has not won over, and that is almost entirely because of demeanor. They say abortion. You can handle that issue. Trump is not, and this is ridiculous. Kamala Harris goes out there, he wants to ban abortion. That's just a flat-out lie. But nobody really cares when Kamala Harris lies. She can do it all day long, and she knows she can. Nobody's going to call her on it. But Trump doesn't all he want to do is get that issue off the table. He doesn't want to deal with it because you can't make deals there. He's a deal maker, and everybody knows that, and that's how he's going to govern. But women in America, they see him as a barbarian.
Yeah.
All right? Because that's the way he's been portrayed.
They keep going back to that Billy Bush tape, that nonsense.
Well, I don't even think that's in play anymore. I think it's Trump himself that'll look. I'm pretty bombastic, and so are you.
Right.
Okay? Well, there are women who don't like us
because
we're bombastic.
What are you talking? Maybe you, not me.
Well, they don't like you because you're too tan. They're suspect of that.
No, you're right about
that. Work all day and be this tan.
Right. Now, women do tend to dislike people like us, yes.
Yeah, because it's just too overbearing. I understand it, but there are women who want strong guys, who want that kind of a presentation. But Trump is this macho man on steroids.
Yes.
And many women, and they flash back to other boyfriends that may have not been treated them well and who were like that. There's all kinds of that emotion in play here.
Yeah, it's true.
But the end is that one of the things Trump had to accomplish was to convince women that he isn't what the press says he is. And I'm not sure he accomplished that.
Okay, I agree with you. I'm not sure he did either, but in wrapping up this great conversation, you'll be back on Thursday, and God, I hope we know at that point who won, so you could really break down what happened today. Even with that said, with the women, you still believe that Donald Trump will win at some point over the next couple of days.
Yes, because even though many women don't like him, they still have to go to the grocery store along with men. I'm not going to be, chauvinistic here. And they're getting hurt. They're getting punished.
Bottom line. That's right.
And that, I think, will mitigate some of the emotion. And, again, I fall back on Atlas and this polling agency, which is pretty darn good. They go in with real incisive questioning, and I believe if they are wrong, I will be surprised.
All right. And they say Trump is going to win. O'Reilly, great having you on today. Thank you so much for doing us twice this week. And hopefully you and I will talk on Thursday. And I've got good news. I'm not going to put you in there because you're a middle of the road type of guy. Hopefully I've got good news. Excellent appearance today, Bill O'Reilly. Thank you so much.
All right, Sid. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You're the best. What do you mean, thanks for having you? Thank you for coming on. The great Bill O'Reilly right there, 9 p.m. weeknights here on WABC, and he'll be back 8:45 a.m. Thursday morning.